My name is Ellen McShane, and I live in Shelburne, Vermont, right outside of Burlington, Vermont. The amount of weight that I've gained is probably 4 pounds. My weight fluctuates a lot. What made me decide that I'd like to do something to gain weight was that I was seeing, at my age, I'm 73, that I was exercising twice a day, and I couldn't keep the weight on, and I could see that I was losing muscle mass. Even though I was exercising, I wasn't building the muscle. I became concerned that if I didn't do something to change that I was going to lose my health. The changes that I experienced were really transformative. One thing that attracted me to getting into Dr. Hoodie's program was the fact that the homeopathic drops were going to target the hypothalamus in my brain. And I have had early childhood abuse. And in the studies that I've done and the research that I've done, that part of the brain that doesn't quiet down and doesn't get the signal to relax. And so I knew that this was an important effort to kind of repair the consequences of trauma in my brain so that I had an easier time staying in an anxiety-free state. I was able pretty quickly to see that change. I saw that I was calmer, I was more relaxed. If something happened that was stressful, I could actually feel it, that it was different, that I was no longer just going into fight or flight. I was able to use my rational brain. If something in the past that would have put me into anxiety for a day or two, I would see that, it's not an issue, it's not a problem. And Dr. Hoodie mentioned that in his lead up into what I might be experiencing, but I could palpably feel it. I really feel that the brain gets so affected by trauma, especially early childhood trauma, that this regimen that Dr. Hoodie is doing for those of us that need to change something in our lives can have profound effect. Because another thing that I realized and what I found very quickly is that because I was on a regimen to eat, that it was not a part of my life, because one of the abuses that I had is that my mother wasn't able to feed me as a baby. I was very comfortable with starving. I'm probably eating 2 to 3 times what I used to eat, and it's just enjoyable. This is a wonderful thing for anyone that's had any kind of trauma. It was pretty immediate for me. The relaxation and the impact on the brain was very quick. The hardest part for me was just realizing the way I've been living. Like one evening, I haven't had hunger pains since I've been on this diet, right? I haven't been starving myself at all. So then one night I was hungry, and I was like, I'm so comfortable being hungry. That shocked me. And then I was reading a book about children who are abused, and they were saying children that are not fed just get comfortable with starving. So, and the hunger pains. So that was hard. It was painful. It also was releasing and again integrating my brain, because I was able to get a more coherent part of my narrative as to why I was struggling to eat. Because basically I would lose my appetite every day for about 4 o'clock, and it's gone. So I wouldn't really want to eat dinner. I wouldn't want to have the sustenance that you need just to be healthy. For me, I think that it's really saved my life, because I think ultimately I was just going to kind of I was weighing the same amount of weight I was in the 7th grade. I'm 73. I should be a little bit heavier than I was in the 7th grade. Well, I had already taken sugar out of my life 35 years ago. I took out dairy 35 years ago. I took out yeast 35 years ago. I took out vinegar. I took out wheat probably 10 years ago. I had nothing that was fattening in my diet. So now I am a fan of coconut oil. I cook everything in coconut oil. I'm eating a lot of chips, things I never used to do. So I now understand that you need the protein, but you need the fats. I have eggs and I have oatmeal and cereal. I have like 2-3 times what I used to eat. And it's like, my body's like, oh yeah, fine, this is much better. When I heard Dr. Hoodie say that he was I don't know his exact age. Metabolically, he was like 29 or something like that. I was like, 29? Oh my Lord. So when I would get on the scale, that was the thing I was always looking at, you know? So I then went from 73, when I started doing the scale that he has you get on, I was 73 metabolic age, and now I'm at 69. So every time it would go down an age, a year, I'd be like, all right, I'm gaining here. Whether I'm feeling the years younger from that metabolic age, I think it gets manifested through the relaxed attitude and the fact that I don't have to be always on hyper alert. You should do it for whatever reason you have. If you want to lose weight, gain weight, you want to increase my bone mass is increased, you know, and that's been one of the issues that I've dealt with along the years. So it allows your body to function. And the foods that Dr. Hoodie has you take out of your diet is just going to change someone's life, period. You know, so to be in a supportive, regimented system that gives you a guide will change people's lives. Jump in. Don't hesitate.